how good did that look? That is. I've never seen that in 3D before. I'm a little speechless. I mean, I've seen that movie 50 times, but
I've never seen it in 3D either. I didn't even know it existed until Martin said, "Hey, I got a friend," and here we are.
Yeah, it's. Well, let's start at the beginning. Before we jump into T2, can you tell everyone who doesn't know, I know the legendary family history and how you got into special effects and miniatures.
Well, before I was born, for the original Time Machine in 1961, George Powell Time Machine, my grandfather won an Oscar. He started in 1941 for George Powell Puppetoons, so he was doing stop motion for shorts in the theaters. Then old studio systems started to degrade in the 50s because something called TV was invented. So it kind of changed the dynamics of Hollywood. I was born in 65, and then my father took over the company in 79 after my grandfather's company did Meteor. And then he got Terminator pretty quickly, 84, so 2 years in he got Terminator. And then I worked on The Abyss, also I was much younger even then. I was 27 on Terminator, but when I was 23 I worked on The Abyss, which was another fun movie to work on as well. And then we got Terminator 2, 27 years old, got in the Cameraman's Union, got to go to the Oscars with my dad and my grandfather.
Crazy, yeah.
So I mean, this movie's super special to me just because it's a lot involved. And I haven't seen it. I mean, how often do you sit down and watch a movie from beginning to end at home? Not very often, so I haven't seen it except for the 2 minutes that I run out to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, you worked on it endless hours too, so you can't.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the movie, here's the ironic thing about the fire. About a week and a half before the movie came out, Jim said it doesn't look scary enough. So we need to do something with that. So Stan Winston's.
This is when he's going into the.
When he's going into the fire,
scene,
you see the fire coming up on his body. I mean, that was just glycerin, not glycerin. It was what's the sugar? Martin, help me.
Gelatine.
Yeah, not gelatine. It's the what you put in your. Well, I guess it is gelatin. What you put in your jelly donuts.
Oh.
So it would be
Gelatin.
corn syrup.
Oh, yeah.
Duh. It was just a vat of corn syrup with a lot of lights underneath it, and kind of looked at it first. I guess I don't know. So we got hired. They sent us a dummy of Arnold. So we actually put the dummy on a cable and then lowered him down, and we burned fire on the body itself. They took that fire off of the one that we'd shot it on and put it on top of Arnold, and then all the way down. And I would say about 40 hours before the movie showed in the theaters, we delivered the last shot.
That was full scale size.
Full scale size, yes. That was not miniaturized fire or anything like that.
How were there people on set waiting to say, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" Do we need
No,
to-"
we're a special effects company. We don't have. There's not a lot of. It was me.
Yeah.
And my dad and the pyro guy. I mean, there's not a lot of people on most of your sets, but like when the tanker truck flips over, which, God, it still looks good.
Yeah. Real little Arnold.
Yeah, this is the size that was on the truck. Originally, we were only supposed to do the truck on the ground, sliding, and then it breaks in half, liquid nitrogen come out. They tried to flip a real truck on first unit, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, me vividly, I can remember Mike Cameron showing up going, "Can you guys flip this?"
Filled half side with cement, I heard. They're like.
Yeah, quarter. It was like between 12 and 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then that was gonna get it to flip, but it continued to flip. So we said, yeah, we can flip it on your dime.
Yeah.
We didn't budget flipping this thing. So, God, if I remember right, we flipped it 32 times. And he ended up picking like take 17.
Perfect.
But it was one of those things, well, we have a budget, we'll give you all the rest of the work that we're budgeted. But for this one, it's cost plus. So we'll flip it as many times as you want us to. You can only flip it twice a day. because we flip it first thing in the morning, it gets destroyed, flip it back up, repaint it, get everything perfect again, flip it at the end of the day. We would flip it in the morning, send dailies in, and just go right into rebuilding it. Get the dailies by the afternoon, flip it again. We just rotate it.
So what scale would the truck have been? 20
Quarter
feet?
scale.
Okay, so that's.
So, quarter scale is this. This is 18, it's, you take a car and you reduce it by 4 times. Quarter scale. It would be 2 inches, 3 inches to the foot. So 1 foot would equal 3 inches of miniature. And when we shot the truck actually flipping over, it took us about 12 to 13 people to do that one shot. Because the truck is traveling on the road. I'm on a dolly, my dad's on a dolly, we have our grips with us, pushing us. Then you have somebody running the remote control, Arnold, because he was all remote control to be able to move, so he's just not dead. And you had somebody that was flipping the truck to get it to flip over.
On wires, or how did you do it? Is it like on winches or something?
It was, everything was cable pulled, and then there was a release. Then there was grinders, remote control grinders. So when it hits over and lands, somebody would start hitting the sparks on it. And there was smoke that was coming out the
stacks on,
Yeah, so
is our shop just sitting there saying, do we need to build another one? Yeah, go build another one. Like, we're gonna do it 32 times, and then you're just building it over and over and over. You don't
we're
have
just
to-
repairing it.
Okay.
I mean, just is a 4-letter word sometimes. Especially in the visual effects business. Can you just do that? 5 guys.
Well, so on the day they couldn't flip the practical truck, it was too dangerous, but they did drag it, right? They
They briefly, not a lot. There's a shot there where Arnold's on the top of it, but they didn't get a lot out of it.
I just think about watching it, I think this movie does it maybe better, because it's right towards the end, right at the beginning of when visual effects were starting to take over. I can't think of a better movie that teases back and forth between cutting between the real truck with real Arnold, which you know is real, even though it's only being dragged 5 feet, and then back to the miniature, and then back to the truck. It tricks your eye completely. It's just a lost art. Like it's because you can tell that it's real light hitting the truck.
Yeah, you can tell all of that. I mean, it's not a lost art. I just did I Love Boosters.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of visual miniatures in that movie.
Oh, I know it's. I say mostly. I mean, there's not nearly enough. I know that Guillermo and some and Chris Nolan, a lot of people still.
The big directors can kind of like, no, I'm doing it this way. Sorry, it's the medium size. It's the lower end directors. Fortunately for them, we're just a family business, so we can do things on a much smaller budget. Me being the cinematographer and the owner of my company, that I can kind of just say, I can do it because I can do it. I don't have to hire somebody. I don't have to, on a Sunday morning, I can go in and shoot something if I had to stay on budget, keep the prices down, and I did on Boosters.
It's Hellboy as well, right? Didn't you do some stuff on Hellboy?
We did the exploding hospital. Actually, I did the blue flames in Hellboy, where the flames go down on the ground. Took a half-scale set, flipped it upside down, put my camera upside down, and had the flames go up with blue gel. Pretty simple. But I'd already learned the blue gel from Bram Stoker's Dracula. Because there's blue flames in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Getting blue from red on film, not an easy thing to do in post, so I would take literally full blue gels, it's about 6 of them on my lens to get it neutral. Then we kind of shot it at that world, and then they would push it blue in post. But Hellboy, and then the hospital blowing up, and then Area 51 in Hellboy. Bram Stoker's Dracula was one of my favorite movies.
Train, there's so much. Right?
I have the train, so I can.
We're gonna screen that one in a few months, so maybe Chris will come back for that.
That was fun. I mean, T2 out the gate was a success. Bram Stoker's Dracula took a little while to become a classic, but that's very Coppola style.
Can you talk a bit about early stages on let's say the script? You get the script, or however the breakdown comes, and they say this is going to be practical, this will be miniature, this will be visual effects, this will be. On this one, was it Future War? Obviously, the whole beginning sequence of the Future War. That's all you guys write as well.
FW1. I mean, literally, the first shot of the movie when you on and there's the skeleton in the car. I was pushing Jim Cameron on Dolly on that one. We were out in Fontana, and he just came out to participate that night. He goes, let me do it, Gene. So he gets on, he pushes, he gets on, he goes, all right, we're done. And then we did all the miniature stuff in the background, but we were also doing second unit that night, because you kind of get led into that. And then all the future war sequences, we still have skulls. I have actually 2 different size skulls. So if you notice this, one is 6 scale and one is quarter scale. You can see the difference. And kind of, if I remember correctly, James Cameron said there's a couple of things that you're gonna do different from T1 to T2. One was size, there was more money. One was use HMIs, and then use xenons. In the little one, T1, they're literally MR11s that you use in your house.
So these are lights. For anyone who does the HMIs are giant.
HMIs are lights.
They're giant lights, like sun. They create sun like.
Yeah, HMIs are, and now you have, and there was a flicker problem. So, but kind of changed the look of Hollywood because Adam Greenberg just left he shot with HMIs this blue and shot with tungsten, turned into T2 blue.
Yeah, because this isn't color graded, right? This was on film. Yeah. So it's crazy to think about that. It's just, that's how. Yeah. You shoot it in camera, and
you shoot it in camera with HMIs. So those were the 3 things: bigger scale, HMI lights, and xenon. And we went to work.
So you read it. Jim says at the beginning, this whole your future war 2 is you guys. This is what I want to do differently, and then you guys take it and say, this is what we think. This is what we're going to propose, and then how's the process?
Normally, I mean, this is Jim Cameron, who pretty much comes to you and says, with the storyboard, bring me this or don't bring me anything. Okay, we go back and we bring him the storyboard. So this was all storyboarded. You know, he'd already done a couple of movies since his first one, so it was you know.
He knows what he wants. But you guys, you've worked with him so much. Didn't you work on True Lies also something? Or you guys did?
Big explosion in True Lies.
But a lot of work with Jim, like it's.
And then we did 20 years later with him for the Titanic.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually starred in it with him. I mean, I co-starred in it because he's the star, right? So, yeah, 20 years later and 25 years later.
So so for this future war, you guys say, Jim says, I want it this way, and you say, we'll do it, and you go off and shoot it. He's not a good micromanager. You guys.
No, he wasn't a micromanager. He never was. Bring me my storyboard or don't bring me it. And if people brought him his storyboard, what's he need to micromanage for?
I mean, you gotta trust the people.
He did. I mean, he trusted Forward and Skotex, Dennis Muir and ILM. I mean, he knew who the artists were.
It's all-star gang across the board on this.
Yeah, on this one, it was. Yep.
Is talking about scale, 4th, 6th, 8th, whatever. Is it for you guys? Is the ideal scale for realism quarter scale to build in, or is there? I know it depends on the shot.
I did a limousine for Strange Days for Catherine Bigelow. That was 3rd scale. That was the biggest thing we'd ever done. The limousine goes off and it goes in the water. That was 3rd scale. Quarter scale, we did Scream 3, House Blowing Up, Terminator 2, and then I think everything else we've done is 6 scale. 6 scale's right in that you can afford it, but it's
big enough,
too
big enough to trick your eye.
Because the water drops look still. You can get away with 6 scale for water drops, and you can push down fire with fans and try and reduce the size of fire.
That's a super interesting one, especially when you look at like movies from the 50s. Some certain movies that are doing very small scale miniatures, but water can't ever be miniaturized. What are the limiting factors? What's water? Is it water and fire? The stuff that just drops?
Yeah, my brother and I taught at USC Film School the history of visual effects, ironically.
Yeah.
And we kept telling everybody, come up with a drop of water that's smaller than a drop.
Yeah.
You can make some funky. Glycerin, you can shoot tiny little drops, and you can make it appear like there's one, but they naturally just want to come back together and form a drop. So you can separate them, tiny little things, but you can't move them, they can't drip, they can't do those things.
So aside from the actual scale itself, what are the other keys tricking the eye on a miniature, tricking someone? You know, it's shocking once you watch, you know, model makers or miniature makers, how I know paint matters a lot. It's what are the other details that help trick people's eyes?
Texture. When I did Megaopolis, we did that quarter scale, and the art department just didn't quite get that they needed to put some texture on it. So when we went to shoot on a test night, the actual wall itself reflected the light as if it were full scale. And then all of a sudden you have this light that just doesn't, and most of the time you don't even really know what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
So the texture just broke that up and turned it into just another little light, just because of the way it absorbs the light. It didn't have like a stucco look to it that's gonna absorb it. It was flat with paint and it just reflected it.
This is, I mean, I'm assuming this is also why it's family industry. These are sort of things you only learn over time, right? Like, I know people can be taught, but this seems like just reps of learning and shooting a lot of movies and knowing the tricks of the trade of how to trick, how to make light.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, again, we grew up in a family environment, and so, I mean, my brother is like, he can weld, he can shoot as well as I can. I mean, I'm the cinematographer, but we have different hats.
Yeah.
Because you can't afford a huge crew. So yeah, I can mold make, I can model make, I can weld. I used to have a pyro card. I mean, you know, there's
This is Arnold too.
yeah, this is yeah.
That's
But my passion is to shoot. So I mean, and you know, it's strange. I've had this mold for 33 years, and I've never made a replica. And because of tonight, I'm going to be calling up and I'm going to ask a friend of mine to make me clothes. I'm going to have a friend of mine pull one of these real. I'm going to make some real replicas finally. This is just something I was playing with in the backyard. I'm just pull this boat and see how it looks. Hey, you go, Arnold.
This is a real mold from that.
That's the actual puppet.
From the shot.
Somebody else has the puppet.
Yeah.
We don't have it, but this, I will make some. I'm going to make 5 of them.
That's so crazy.
But what's cool is I have Pennywise from Stephen King's It.
Oh, really?
Wow.
We also did Pennywise, so I have Pennywise and him, and they get to stand next to each other. Yeah.
Can you think of any shots, or when you're reading a script, can you think of any shots that are most exciting for you? Like, whatever, airplane
Blowing
stuff.
stuff up is always exciting.
Always.
Yeah.
And bigger scale, the better. I'm always assuming.
And,
Right?
you know, bigger. I mean, yes and no. The bigger the scale, the bigger the fail. So you know, there's a happy medium to try and keep it small enough that you can manage it.
Yeah.
But that's always the fun part. I mean, people go, "When you blow up your model." Yeah.
It's like the White House. The White House from Independence Day.
Yeah,
Is the one I
Joe
was
Scalzo. I
Great.
bought this watch from Joe. He's an old friend.
It's a beautiful shot. I mean, it's the
Great
large.
shot.
It just doesn't know the physics of an explosion. I mean, even the downtown. That wasn't you guys, right?
No, that was full.
But again, it's
Robert
just the.
friends.
You can't fake the physics of.
You still can't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it holds up today. I mean, obviously the CGI does not hold up.
Yeah.
But it fits for the movie because you know what it is. But miniatures, you can't do anything different because physics are still the same. So to try and do that again now, you know, give us the same amount of money they gave us, then maybe we do a good job.
I think this came out is 91, right? So this and I think Jurassic Park are my favorite examples of cross-cutting between early visual effects, sometimes that are great, sometimes not, and then a practical effect, like the T-1000 stuff. I think a lot of people don't realize that
A lot of it's
almost all of it's practical.
Yeah,
or
yeah. It's just a transition.
Yeah,
So it's not.
it's like all the
Yeah.
puppets and
Yeah.
even when he's blown apart at the end, it just looks so much better.
Yeah.
Was that a full scale? Do you remember? I mean, that's not you guys.
Yeah, it was full scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one other question about scale. Let's say you're shooting at 4th scale and it is DP. You just drop the frame rate, right, in order to match per
Yes.
scale, per
Yes.
scale.
I mean, it's not 1-to-1 where you 24 frames a second full scale, 48 frames a second
Yeah.
half scale, 96 frames a second.
It's not linear
It's
like
not linear like that. So most of the stuff we did on T2 was shot VistaVision.
Really?
So we were shooting 8 perf sideways and shooting up to 200 frames a second for some of this stuff. And I still think in my mind, wait a minute, the Image 300, which was what we used on the Abyss, went 300 frames a second, but that's 4perf. The wheel cam went 200 frames a second, but it's 8perf. So that's another 25% faster than the Image 300.
It just allows you to do different and more than.
Yeah, so because all of our cameras are sideways, so all that stuff on the flipping over was all on skateboards. Our cameras were on skateboards riding along the road to stay down in those. And then also my dad and I had to have full protection. We used 96% isopropyl alcohol because 4% of it would freeze. So we were able to get a little bit of liquid out of liquid nitrogen.
Yeah,
So all it does is just want to vaporize when it hits the ground, so you can see some leading water.
Some liquid does it before.
Yeah. So we were able to mix it with that, and then we were full on welding gloves because it would burn us instantly.
Yeah.
So we were just like little,
Where-
traveling pillbox.
That was for the tank shot. Where did you shot that on stage somewhere?
Shot that in Burbank.
Really?
Yeah.
You had to build the whole steel.
Oh yeah, we went up to Fontana. We were there actually to shoot that W1. But yeah, I mean that's matching. I mean the model department is that. My brother does that.
It's on I Love Boosters shot on digital, I'm assuming, or no?
I shot on digital, yes.
What's your thoughts on? I mean, it's hard to duplicate the look of film, but especially for special effects, miniatures where rolling camera and not having to switch mags and worrying about developing and exposing. Yeah. What's your thought on for special effects stuff? If
it's just another medium for the most part, and we used to always say in the early stages of digital, garbage in, garbage out. Still applies now. Yeah. So you still need to light it. You still need to take the time to make it look right. I do think though that film for miniatures, not all of them, but for spaceships and certain things, that film just has a softer, it's on a molecular scale, not on a
digital.
I'm going to give you a certain amount of pixels and you a certain amount of pixels, and then it leaves and things look pixelless. Yeah. You know what I mean? They still look the same. Not that they're bad. This was amazing screen here.
Beautiful, yeah.
And actually, while I was wondering, does it get hot?
I mean,
that was my question.
I don't think so.
It's not that hot. I was just curious while I was watching it because there is.
Yeah, for any other, I don't know, for any of you who have seen other 3D movies, when you screen a 3D movie, Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, you lose a stop or two of light. The 3D gets dark, makes it much dimmer, Avatar or whatever. This screen is so bright, it's much brighter than any normal projector that you don't lose any of that. So it just looks much better.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by it. So it was really, I'm glad I came. I got to see The Abyss at the Directors Guild, at the Oscar Theater about a year ago.
I saw that when it was, yeah.
And so it was nice to see this.
That was with all the tsunami stuff in, right? I think that was the cut that happened.
No, they didn't have this.
Oh, I saw that. That was a different screen.
So
something else I'll say how these shots are. Every line of the script has its own need, whether it's real, digital, or practical. But there's just so much soul and character. I read this thing once talking about why miniatures and special effects often age really well, is because your eye knows what something hitting the surface of light is, and visual effects have a hard time duplicating that a lot of the time. And even a miniature that's 90% of the way there, your eye knows it's real, so you connect to it in a different way than you do even a decent visual effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really, it's that for sure, but it's an accumulative thing because CGI, sometimes it's too perfected. Because you have an option to just keep tweaking it.
Yeah.
Just keep tweaking it. So people have an option sometimes, or they just find themselves tweaking it too much. It's still synthetic. But we know what's real. I mean, as human beings, in a miniature, the crazy thing is everything's real.
Yeah.
It's just smaller.
Yeah.
It's real cement on a smaller scale. It's steel that's cut smaller.
Real physics and real explosions.
Yeah, and then we have to deal with gravity. We have to deal with all the things that come with the real life that you can't cheat. And we, as human beings, at least where we're at now, understand that, we're not being cheated.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say that CGI. I mean, there's great stuff out
No,
there.
I know.
I'm just another little section, a little tool in the toolbox.
Where I was going with that was I think that it is such a valuable tool that some shots are absolutely best as a miniature. They often get passed off as visual effects now because how can we spread? How do you think if it was up to you, how can we like grow the miniature? But our friend of ours does stop motion.
Blind Beagle VFX.
Yeah.
You can go to my Instagram. We are gonna start a YouTube channel.
Cool.
Just gonna go over I've got 70, 60 movie posters in my shop because my grandfather started in 41,
Yeah.
so it's 85 years. I just stopped collecting posters at a certain point, but we have miniatures from a lot of that. We have behind the scenes from a lot of that I've been dragging around for a long time. And I'm not sure I want my son, who's the 4th generation, to drag them around. So at some point in the next 3 to 5 years, we're gonna show everybody what it is, and then start museums and stuff like that. Let people enjoy them.
Well, more people just need to learn about the skill set and the trade craft.
I'm stoked. We had a bunch of 30-year-olds on our crew. I had Ian Hunter, who's an Academy Award winner for miniatures. I had my brother, I had another friend, Matt Hassman, I had Len Bernstein. We had like 6 or 7 old school, and then like
the
10,
next generation.
10 30-year-olds and below.
It's great to hear that.
And I'm so happy for them. They're like stoked to learn this stuff, and we're like, we want to teach them.
This movie is just such a good example where this is the 35th anniversary of it, and it still looks that good. When miniatures don't age, if it's real, it's real. And if it tricks you on the day 91, it's going to trick you on the day now. I think it's like such a testament to.
And the nice thing about boosters is Boots didn't want it 100% real.
Right, I heard
Yeah, and I was like, are you sure? Because I don't get a job unless it's real. I mean, that's the old school of miniatures. It's the old school of movie making, and it's like, no, I want it to. And now everybody's really pleased that you can tell they're miniatures. Like, has it gotten this easy?
Yeah. All right, let's ask some questions. If anyone's got some questions for Chris.
Yeah.
You worked on one of my favorite action movies, 2004's The Punisher.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Actually, we burned John Travolta when he's traveling along the road. All the cars blowing up. Actually, we created the skull. And that was really difficult to do. And put the camera about 35 feet in the air and we drew on the ground a skull. But it was massive. It was 30 feet by 40 feet. And then we just started burning sections, real fire. And if you know anything about fire, when you're on top of it, what comes up? Your smoke. So it took a long time to do that, and we got really good at putting fire on people. Whatever. Pick the bills. So we would do it in sections. So then you could take those sections and then slowly layer them on top of each other, and it was real fire. That skull in that movie was real fire, like a lot of it, and yeah, it was horrible. Because the camera was up there. And the smoke kept rising, and it was constant. Yeah, it was bad.
Is there any hardest shot in your life you can remember specifically being a nightmare, just to get right, of any movie you've ever worked on?
Yeah, there's a couple. The bug shot for Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
When you do a close up and you look into the eyeglass and there's flies and there's ants. I actually shot that with a 300mm lens with like 5 diopters on it, and it was.
Just precision nightmare.
It was, because I'd have so much light that it was kind of damaging the insects.
Yeah.
Because it was so hot.
Yeah.
So there was one there that was just a really brutal, and it was on a motion control, so I could move it, because the glasses, my dad's, no, the glasses have to move in that, so I'm like, Dad, it's like 36 frame shot, they gotta move. All right.
I heard he was quite a perfectionist. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was. So was his father.
Yeah.
Everybody called me a perfectionist, but people don't realize that perfectionists compromise constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly, otherwise we wouldn't even enjoy life at all. So we're perfectionists to a point that we can accept. And yeah.
Well, you don't get to do T2 until if you guys don't, the product that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It It was a fun movie. I got in the union on this one. They charged my dad $60,000 for hiring three non-union members, and I was one of the three. So he got grieved by the union. Then they came to me and said, "Well, you're gonna get $6,000 back pay." Great, but it costs you $6,000 to get in the union. Fred, you guys are good at this. Take my money. I was in the union after T2.
Railway standard car.
1993? Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
What was your experience during the nuclear nightmare?
I didn't work on that. That was Sco's. That was Forward. That was Dennis and Robert Skotek. Same pyro guy. We called him Blow and Go Joe because he was doing both shows. Like same show, two different shops. So we'd schedule when he could blow up stuff for us, or when he could blow up stuff for them.
So you guys would always have your own pyro guy outside of special effects. You guys have your own miniature department.
Oh yeah, you have to have a miniature pyro guy. It's a little bit different.
A little more delicate.
Yeah, and also since we're shooting at high frame rates, everything's not timed properly.
Yeah.
If we're doing it at 96 frames a second, and you want something, 1 second of our time is 4 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
So if you want something to fire off, you get down to the frame 36, fire this off, frame 45, fire it off here, frame 51, this goes off, you get down to frame fucking, we call it.
So, and you're shooting at full speed
Full speed is relative.
So I mean, let's say 18 or 20 frames a second or something.
24. Wait, the only time we shot go motion or stop motion in Terminator 2 is when the puppets are in the background. You know when the skull lands, hits the head, first
Yeah.
movie, you see guys in the background walking. Those are rear screens that we built the plates for, and the puppets are on a motion control.
Oh, the T800s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're walking in the background on a motion control. So they're being blurred while the stop motion
Right,
internals
right.
are being stop motioned, but the bulk is being
I just was
blurred.
trying to think about logistically, how do you trigger pyro on frames 14 of 24?
Oh, we have a box.
Yeah, a little, it
We
just
have a
ties
box
to
that
the
you
camera.
plug it into, and it's 1/1000th. Ours is 1/100th. No, 1/1000th. So you can get down to literally first one is okay. What frame rate? Second one, third one, all the way down to 60 cues we have or something on ours.
Amazing.
That you just hit the go button and that blows them off.
Yeah.
In the old days, it was a nail.
Oh, we're like running a nail.
Yeah,
on
just a nail across it, and the pyro guy got good. But when you start doing the high speed stuff,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to start breaking it down to the frames, so things don't jump on top of each other. You could have an explosion go off in the wrong time and see nothing behind it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we've done some big explosions.
Any more questions? Yeah.
When a filmmaker is reaching out to you for a new project, what excites you the most about it? Is it the filmmaker and the crew, the IP, the effects you get to do, or something else?
The job. I mean, the fact that they're even interested in doing it, always gonna be the filmmaker. Because when you give your heart and soul into something, you wanna know you're giving it to somebody you like. You don't always get that option. That's not a make or break, because it almost work for anybody, but it would be great to like the person you're working with.
I'm just so excited to hear that you're starting a channel. I think that once more people, as you're talking more directors, young filmmakers, start to fall in love with it, and understand it more, that they'll.
Yeah, there's a place for it. I mean, I did Megapolis, I left there and went, wow, I think Hollywood still needs this. I'm still pretty good at this. I did the sequence with the statues. You're driving around and statues fall over, and there's that weird, bizarre sequence. And it only took about 6 months to open up a company.
Yeah.
And I just hope enough people want to see it.
I just think people, there's another documentary, if anyone has seen it, it's called A Sense of Scale. It might be hard to find. I don't know where it's streaming, but it's all about miniatures and special effects. It's fascinating. Of course, you've seen that. I think you're in it, aren't you?
Around a couple of them.
Yeah. But I just don't think enough people know
50-foot
about it.
Woman is big.
Yeah.
They just did that recently. Somebody just saw that. Actually, Movie Magic got sued for copyright infringements. That's why Movie Magic
Oh, really?
went away.
Oh, wow. All right, anyone else? Yeah.
How'd you do the metallic police officer?
We didn't do that, but most of that was done practical at Stan Winston's. It was an actual puppet that they made, like when it blew him open, that was a foam puppet within it. And then, Jim Cameron knew he wanted to do D2 after he did the Snake for the Abyss.
Yeah.
He went, all right,
We could do it.
the technology's far enough along, the Snake and the Abyss, I can now do T2. At least this is what I hear, I don't wanna quote.
I think I've heard the same similar
But-
story. Yeah.
So then we were able to do T2, so that was all computer graphics. Yeah,
But a lot of that stuff, you know, when he changes over, when he walks out of the fire, you know, that's CG. But
Yeah.
the people, I think it's so well hidden. I was a PA on the original Avatar when I was in college. I had to drive some stuff from set to Lightstorm, which is James Cameron's office, and I opened the closet at Lightstorm. This was in 2007 to put some box in there, and you know when T-1000's chasing him down the street and is like has the hooks for arms and he's climbing up the back of the car. That was just hanging in the closet at Lightstorm. And I just didn't even consider that was real. And it's just sitting around there. I think a lot of those shots were, if you go back and pause them.
A lot of them.
Yeah, even the head stuff with the whole head, that's like a model, right, of his head that you just hold on it just shortly enough so you can't tell.
He wanted to be able to manipulate the liquid and then bring him back into life and stuff like that. He wanted to be able to texture stuff like that. He was able to.
Yeah, I think it works. I mean, I believe it's not perfect, but anyone else? Yeah.
Do you have an instance of a shot that really gave you the bang for your buck, where you get the credit for an amazingly difficult shot, but in fact it was something that was simple for you?
It's gotta be some great explosion, right?
I don't know. I mean, I would go back. Maybe not boosters right now. It's like, well, everybody crazy about this stuff. But no, not really. I'm pretty much pleased with most of the stuff that we use. It's never easy getting there. The bouquet of flowers that wilt in Bram Stoker's Dracula was one of my toughest things I've ever done, where the shadow comes over the flowers and they just die. It's all in one, and those are dying flowers.
How'd you do it?
I killed them.
That's a trick.
We had a big oven, open the oven, box it off, put a camera outside, put a bouquet of flowers in there, hit the go button, and it took about 45 minutes for them to wilt. Kept the temperature outside, inside, knowing that, okay, 45 minutes, I need to now take these, whatever, the shot's like 120 frames or something. Then we had to do the shot within 120 frames. Motion control came over, the light, shadowed it, and then just did a whip open on the camera. So it wasn't even like a typical time lapse. Open, closed, open, closed. It was opened, spun around, opened again. So we only missed about 30% of the image. So we were exposing 330 or 320 at the time while we were moving something. So it's a really tricky shot on top of making sure that it died at the right time. But so yeah, most of the shots
too.
are,
Like,
you're
not like watching a monitor and you know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no way.
Make it even harder.
Yeah, you got used to not worrying about.
I just hope they don't flash the can before it goes.
Nowadays, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
In the film days, you just got used to it.
Yeah.
If you as a cinematographer,
You just
if
feel-
you didn't get over the days worth of work, you never slept.
Yeah.
So you get over that pretty quick.
I saw another hand up top I was missing. So yeah, go ahead.
Seeing the success of like Terminator 1 and 2, did you think like there'd be any more movies like Rise of the Machines, Salvation, all that? And like, what
There-
are your thoughts on like all this, like all the?
Did you think there would be a bunch more Terminators after this?
For us personally, or
Like,
in
for
the
you
franchise?
personally, yeah. Like, what did you like? Did you think you were gonna?
now when they went to digital,
Yeah.
I didn't follow into digital, so I wasn't gonna work on after T2 it went to T2 3D, which was a universal universal thing only. It wasn't this. It was T2, and so then they took the ships from us, and they took them there, and then they reshot for that, just for the T2 3D, and then, you know, you always wonder why you don't get the call. Why didn't Tim Burton call me for 50-Foot Woman they're redoing?
Yeah.
You know, we did 50-Foot Woman with Daryl Hannah, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of movies that get remade that don't, that
Some of the
they don't
greatest-
know we're here, first of all, or they don't care.
The
Which is
scales-
fine, they're allowed to.
The scale sets on that movie are incredible. The 50-foot woman.
It was fun.
It's some of the coolest force
We did
perspective.
forced perspective,
That's what I mean.
we
That's
did moving cameras, pan and tilt.
not some green screen comp in. It's all in the camera. Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
That's great. All right. Anyone else? Yeah. Go ahead.
When you're deciding what scale to make the miniatures at, do material concerns play into that, or is it more getting the right
Well,
lighting and
yeah, it all depends on what you wanna do with the model. If it's just gonna sit there and look pretty, you can go pretty small scale, as long as you can get the paint, the textures and all that stuff, so you can go relatively small, but as soon as you want it to do something, interact with smoke, interact with rain, fire, or break apart, the bigger scale you can go, the better it's gonna look, and then obviously the budget. How much they can afford. I mean, I would have loved to have done boosters in 6 scale, but we could only afford 12 scale because I had buildings from a movie called Dreamquill, which was Alex Prager's first movie that's coming out now. Not yet, but soon. So it's budget and what do you want it to do and how realistic do you want it to be? It's gotta be hyper real, and we better go quarter scale. And you go from there. If they're like, you know, I'm okay if it has a quirkiness in it, then you can go 6 scale or you can go 12 scale. I mean, Moonrise Kingdom with Wes Anderson, we went 6 scale because of water, but he wanted quirky. So we had a good scale, but he wanted quirky.
He wants you to know it's a miniature.
Yeah. So it all depends on the director and what they're looking for. I mean, I'm for hire. I'm not here to tell them what to do with their movie. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's like, what do you want? Okay, let's give it to you.
All right. I saw one more maybe. Yeah. Way up top.
So what was your experience working on Constantine?
Constantine, Mike Fink. We didn't do a lot on that, but what we did was very powerful. And I say that when you're inside the room and the water comes bursting up through the room, we just did those elements for
Through the
that.
top?
Yeah, when it was going up. But it was pretty difficult. We had a huge ramp, and we built all this pressure up that went down, and that's real water shooting up into the air. I mean, we really did that for real. And
On a full scale top?
no, it was half scale. We reduced it down half scale. Since we had a water tank,
Yeah.
we were able to get 25 feet of pressure, and then we funneled the water into a hole
Yeah.
that literally shot that water, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not digital. You can tell it's pretty big. You know, there's just that, again, we can feel it. We're human beings. We live this, we've seen it.
I think so much about it feels like I think the miniatures. That's one of the biggest benefits compared to visual effects. You feel something because it's real.
Yeah, I mean, when we all, at some point, tinkered with stuff like that as kids,
Yeah.
and imagination and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my brother and I are fortunate that some families are plumbers, some families are electricians. We just have to, we get to blow up stuff.
All right, we have maybe one more question. Yeah, one or two.
Working in practical effects, I always hear that back in the day, you guys had like a good amount of time to do the work, and now that's not so much the case. Is that something that's affected your industry as well?
There's first of all, you abandon a movie.
Yeah.
You never finish it. We all abandon our work. Okay, it's good enough, shoot. So there's never enough time, really. But there's always enough time to fix it in post.
Right.
So there's that, you know, I mean, what's it, the worst 4 words in Hollywood? Fix it in post. I was trained to fix it on stage. Otherwise, you didn't. only because you couldn't fix it in post very easily. The computers.
You have to build the truck again. You can't just go digitally.
Yeah, we can't even build it. You can't paint stuff out. There,
Yeah.
In the optical printer, where you're actually doing negative to IP
Yeah.
back and forth, you only could do 2 or 3 passes on it, and the quality went away. So you didn't even have an option to fix some of this in post. So you had to shoot it properly on stage. Now they just fix it in post. Well,
So people can just you can get sloppier and
you get much sloppier, and it gets expensive in post. So now we find out that they're saving so much for post when no, just give us a little bit more in pre.
Yeah.
Because if we do it in pre-production and we do it for real, you don't have to fix it in post. And I find, on my personal level, when you can fix something in post, you can tweak it and tweak it and tweak it to where you don't like it.
Yeah.
If you've accepted it on stage, you're moving on.
Yeah.
You're never going back to that image that you may tweak until you don't know why it looks the way it does.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Or maybe one more. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any last words of inspiration for aspiring filmmakers?
I mean, keep your passion for it. I mean, I'm only here right now because I still have passion to make miniatures. If I didn't have that burning inside me to still do that, I don't know where it's going. I'm the antithesis of AI. I make miniatures and I shoot them on film. So, you know, I do think that there's a branding problem. What that is right now, we don't really get to talk about it because they don't care what we say, but we're the viewers.
Yeah.
So it does matter what we say. Just say you don't want it. I don't know what else to say to that, but keep true to your heart. If you want to make something, try and make it. You know, I would tell that in any life or anything. Just
At whatever scale you can.
Yeah, but whatever. At whatever scale you can.
No
Yeah,
pun
exactly.
intended with that. All right, Nate, let's give Chris some applause. Yeah,
if you guys wanna, we'll hang out if everybody wanna see.
We're gonna go out.